Okay, I think we're live. I'm talking to myself right now, but that's okay. I'm going to get these links out to all of my people, and then we will start in just about 30 seconds. I'll get on with this. Let's see here. Content sharing. I always like to post my links on a bunch of different Discords for anybody who wants to follow along. Let's see here. Let's go this one and this one. Okay, I think that's good enough. Hey, Renew. You're always the first one here, man. You're the best. Thanks for joining me. So what I'm going to do is kind of recap some stuff that I talked about in a video that I posted earlier today. And we're also going to look at some industry stuff and a little bit of logistics, and then we'll go from there. So while we get started, we'll start up here in Northern Pacific because right now there's nothing going on up here. We had an enemy cruiser task force sighted in this area yesterday, and now it's disappeared again. I don't know where it went, but I'm not going to waste any time thinking about it. But before we talk about that, let's take a look at some behind-the-scenes stuff that you guys don't always get to see. So we'll start with some tracker stuff. So this is one of my favorite screens in Tracker. This is the victory points screen, and this is kind of letting me keep track of the health of my campaign. And if you look on these far left columns here, you'll see that we're at 1035, and currently we're at a 2.008 to 1 victory ratio. And I think that's really good for January 10th, 1942, especially given that we haven't had a lot of opportunities to get air kills and ship kills in this campaign, because Hellsen's just, you know, running away. And what I like about this screen is over here on the right, I get to leave notes here so I don't forget about what's going on here. All right. So one thing I want to show you guys is that with these points here, the reason that these are so high is because of the strat bombing campaign that I've done. This is 2,700 points to my total score right now, right? So if we look at that, we would be nowhere near where we are right now without these points. Let's bust out the calculator and figure out where we would be if I hadn't been doing strat bombing. So 12278 minus 2,700. We'd be at 9,500 points right now, and 9,500 points divided by 6,115, we'd only be at a 1.56 to 1 win ratio. So you can see how important the strat bombing campaign has been to everything that I'm doing here. And I've kind of taken a lot of heat because a lot of people have said that I'm wasting my time with the strat bombing and all that other stuff, but honestly, it's vital. It's vital to what we're doing here, so I'm kind of glad that we're doing it. Anyway, enough about that. We can see here, let's see, the army lost points. This is how I calculate how many points per turn. Ship sunk, base value, and of course, points gained every turn. Political points. This is how much I have on balance at the end of the turn. Okay. Next, let's take a look at the industry stuff. A lot of people like this. And this is a good chart. This is the industry chart here. And this is another good way for me to keep tabs on the health of my industry for my campaign. And if we take a look here, you can see that we have a net gain of resources even right now. So if we were to do nothing else, we have enough resources on hand to break even every turn, and with a little bit of gain. And those resources feed into your light industry and heavy industry. So we are a net positive for resource generation with all the places we've got. A place that we're not doing so good is in oil. We have a net loss of 9,000 oil per day. That's worldwide as the Japanese. So that's not necessarily a huge concern right now. Scenario 2 does give you a bit more oil to work with. We currently have 4.5 million oil on hand. So what that tells you is this. If we were to not grab oil, we have 40.5 million divided by a net loss of 9,000 a day. We have 500 days of oil before we were to completely run out. So that's kind of why I haven't been in a big rush to capture bases like, let me show you, like Palembang and Miri, Balikpapan, Medan, Magway. I haven't been in a huge rush to capture these places because I don't need them this second. And it would be very reckless of me to try to capture these bases if I can't guarantee that they won't be bombed by the Allies. As long as any of these oil centers are within B-17 bombing range, to me, I don't think I should take them. I don't have enough aircraft and I don't have enough aviation support to spread all over the map here to guarantee that the bombers won't hit the oil. And if they hit the oil, we're done for. We cannot allow that. So what I'm doing is I'm taking, hey, Mr. Landry, nice to see you. What I'm doing is I'm taking my time and trying to take bases on the periphery in the Dutch East Indies and eliminate bases where the Allies can use their bombers to bomb oil centers the day after I take them. And we've already seen what can happen when you don't do that. At Rangoon, if you guys remember about a week ago, I captured the base, and the next turn, he bombed Rangoon from Calcutta, and I had no aircraft there because the base was trashed, as you can see. Completely trashed, so I can't operate aircraft out of this. And he targeted our refineries and destroyed a lot of them. Imagine him doing that to any other base here without fighter cover. I will lose all the oil, and I cannot allow that. So this screen on tracker really helps me kind of decide how quickly I need to move. Right now I have 500 days of excess oil in the bank before I need to really be like a concern. I will run out in 500 days. So there's no huge rush to take those bases. That's my justification. Okay, so that you can get a good look here. We have a net gain right now of 2,300 heavy industry points per turn. And we're building up a nice little supply here. We have 83,000 in the bank. Resources looking good. Fuel's looking good. Supplies looking okay. I wish we had a little more supply generation, but we'll get that as we capture more bases. Okay? So, one thing that I'm starting on for this turn is I'm refiring up the resource extraction from Sakhalin. Hellsen really scared the crap out of me when he attacked about 2 weeks ago with his destroyers, and I lost about 50 ships, all said and done, by the time he was done with his raids. And I had no preparation in place, right? I had no naval search. I had no ships deployed to deal... I had nothing there to deal with it. So I've taken better precautions now. I have naval search in Kashiro. We'll have some Impero Mashiro soon. I've got ADAC. I've got picket ships. And now, on top of that, I'm deploying a destroyer and cruiser task force to act as a shield right here. And on top of that, we're going to have this ASW task force right behind that to act as another shield there. Ooh, I need to fix that. Where is it? These guys. There we go. So I feel a lot more comfortable with... Man, I keep messing this up. There we go. I have 2 layers of ships that he would have to get through before he got to my whatchamacallit, it's my shoot, the cargo ships. Yeah, damn, I can't talk. And on top of that, I'm going to put another ASW task force right here, and that's coming out of Wakanai. So let's do that right now. ASW. Just a couple of these sub-chasers. And we will put them kind of to overlap here and here. Boom. And that gives me a lot more confidence in my ability to protect shipping going in and out of Toyohara. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the CS convoys just go into Wakanai and dump the resources there. And then they'll flow down this road to Sapporo and Hakodate, and I can transfer them the rest of the way there. That way I can move these task forces faster than having to go all the way back into Japan. We'll just use Hokkaido as a relay. Okay? Get some water here. Landry said, next target for Keto Butai, Calcutta. Well, let's see. Let's see how far that would be. Calcutta is here. And Keto Butai is about here. How far is that? So no, let's do this. To Calcutta. 131 hexes straight line distance. Yeah, we can get them there in a couple turns. We'll move the carriers over to Calcutta to blow that up. I wish. Okay, so let's get on with this turn setup. So obviously we have a lot of resources on Hokkaido. And I've got multiple convoys going between Sapporo and Hakodate, Hirosaki, and Ominato, moving those. And then soon I'm going to be relaying resources from Toyohara to Hokkaido. And this is going to be like a relay race to get the stuff out of this place and where it belongs. And the other resource extraction site I have is here at Fusan Port, which is still building up to almost a size 8. And after size 8, it's going to be doing really good. As you can see, I have multiple convoys moving in and out of Fusan, going into Fukuoka and Shimonoseki every turn. Hey, Anzac, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. And really, this is the only place that I'm moving resources, because the way this game works is that it can draw its own path to where resources are being extracted from. So I have a ton of resources in China, a ton of resources in Manchukuo, and I've kind of trained the game to know that I'm drawing them only out of Fusan, right? So what happens is it takes all the resources that are excess and ships them on the rail lines all the way down to Fusan. So once a week or so, I get this huge push of resources into Fusan, 500,000 resources, and then my CS convoys pick it up and take it and just move it over to mainland Japan to feed the heavy industry and light industry here. I'm not moving it out of Port Arthur, Kaijo, Shanghai, anywhere else. It's being sucked out of China through the road networks here and driven all the way into Fusan. So it really reduces the amount of ships that I have to have exposed to submarine attacks and just kind of transiting the Yellow Sea and East China Sea. I don't really need that right now. I can get it all out of Fusan. And we've been building up this port since the beginning of the campaign. We're almost at a size 8, which will max it out. And that's every time the port size gets bigger, it increases the draw for that port. So this is something that Desert Wolf taught me, and it's been working out really good for me. And I'm moving a ton of resources out of all of this area here, out of one single port. All right, now we're going to get on with our turn setup here. And this is our situation at the moment. It's kind of a problem because I have... You know what? Let's do this. Let's get the little... let's get my new little pen drawing thing going here, so I can help you guys see what I'm talking about. All right. So, my big concern now is the supply at Sion right here. Because he's got units here, 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 and here. And it's constraining my supply lines. Oh, he also has one here. So, in order for me to get supply into Sion, it has to find its own path. And it kind of goes like this and around. The problem with that is it's not staying on the road paths a lot, right? And on top of that, we have to start going over rougher terrain to get there, right? So one thing we can do to verify that we have supply paths is I can click on a hex here and click the, I think it's the 5 key, all right? Let me see if that works. Yes. Okay. So if you look on here, anywhere that has a yellow dot is a place where supply can flow to. Okay. If we were in single player, we could actually calculate this even better because it will tell you the supply cost for every hex. But basically, anywhere that has a yellow dot is a place that we can move supply from one of these bases here that actually has it. And this shows you your supply paths. So we can still get supply into Sion. It just makes it harder and it takes longer to do it. So what I want to do is dislodge these units. Let me turn this off. I want to dislodge these units here and here. And basically then the supply can just flow from Nanyang up this road and it costs almost nothing and it's almost instantaneous, right? The problem is that the terrain on this road is basically ×3 terrain. So last turn we attacked this unit here, and honestly, it didn't go very well. We didn't really do much damage to them, even though I bombed them heavily. But we're gonna keep trying. And then after that, I'm gonna move up here, take these guys out, and then free up this road. And then we're just gonna go back and forth like whack-a-mole and keep these Chinese units off this road. Because you can see here, I also have a push going up this way too, right? Let me show you that. Let me show you that. So we have a push right here, and next turn I intend to attack here, and then we're going to continue up this road, and the goal is to cut the supply of fuel from Lanchow coming down this way here. Okay, this is, if you can see what I'm doing. I know I keep drawing a lot of lines here, but basically my goal is to get to this hex. If I get to this hex, I block the fuel, and then the fuel cannot flow into Chungking. And what that's going to do is it's going to severely limit his supply production. Because you can see he's got light industry and heavy industry in Chungking. And heavy industry makes 2 supply per turn. But it needs fuel to operate. If you get rid of the fuel, the heavy industry shuts down. And that's a massive amount of supply generation that he can no longer get. So it's very important to me that I get up this road here and take out that fuel supply. And I feel like Hellsen has kind of left himself short by stacking this hex so heavily. Because this is another vital hex, right? But he's moving so many troops in here that I think he's left this area here exposed. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to try to blow through here and quickly get to this hex and take it out. So that you know, we can cut that fuel supply. Let's see, Anzac. Really appreciate your dedication to this wonderful game. I own and don't have the time to master, but enjoy decompressing by watching others. Hey, thank you so much, Anzac. I really appreciate you watching these videos. I love doing this stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure that everything is looking good here. Everything's moving. Yep. Make sure. Oh yeah, we definitely need to get that base built up faster. So here's an issue. I'm using Ankang to supply my push up the Ankang road, but we have a supply limit of 8,000 a day, which cuts down the amount of throughput of supply that can come through here. So to increase that, I need to build up the airfield, and that will increase my supply limit. I'm working on that. Okay. All right. We need to build that up too. Okay. This guy's moving there. This guy's moving there. Okay, that looks good. So I think we need to make sure that we have orders set for our aircraft now. Ground. Okay, so we're going to hit this hex again because I really need to get that unit out of there. So we'll hit these guys. I think we're going to do identical orders here. And these guys are on combat. These guys are moving up. Okay. It's looking good so far. And these guys, oh, okay. We definitely need to hit these ones. And that hex is, and these guys are trying to move and block this rail line here. I'm tired of this, so I'm going to have to try to slow them down. That's 8747. Do I have anything hitting that? 8747. Okay, so those orders look good. Spetty unit, stand down. Alright, we're going to let them hit the identical targets again this turn. And these guys are going to hit there. Okay. I think we're going to leave everything exactly the same this turn. I need a repeat of everything we did. Alright, these guys need some more aircraft. Okay, that looks good. Let's go ahead and repeat that whole thing. And then over here, I think we're going to hit the exact same stuff again. We're going to do it again. All right. So the other issue that I'm having in China right now, and this was a very good play by Hellsen, is, oops, right here. These guys are about to get broke out of jail by these guys. Right now, I own all the Hexides, which means that he's trapped here, right? But once these guys come into this spot here, it's going to break out all these units right here, and they're going to start moving who knows where. And there's 400 AV here, so there's not much I can really do to stop it at this point, unless I were to maybe send a bombing raid in here to try to kill this guy, and I don't even know if I can at this point. But I think we're going to try to do that. Actually, I changed my mind. We're going to order ground attack on this hex. And we're going to set all level bombers to do that. Okay? Yeah, we're going to try to kill that unit. I think it might actually be pretty hurt anyway. And that is rough terrain. It's ×2. We may be able to kill that unit, so let's see what we can do. And then we will sweep that hex just in case. Alright, that's the plan. So we're going to send all available bombers out of Hankow to hit this unit right here. And maybe we'll kill it, and it won't be able to break that hex side, and we'll be okay for a while. Let's see how that works out. Okay. And then I have an armored car company here. I wonder what they can do. I think I'll just leave them there for now. All right, so we've taken care of all that stuff. Now let's look at this part of China here. Let me show you what I'm planning down here. So I currently have 2 of these militia regiments just sitting on this side of the river at Nanyang. Sorry, this is Nanning. Okay, I've got a guards regiment heading into here right now. It should be there in 2 turns. Additionally, I've got another guards regiment coming up this way. And then from there, they're going to rail up to Lang Song and join these guys. And at that point, I think I might have enough assault value to shock attack across this river here and take Nanning outright. And I also am looking at trying to either take Kuai Lin or Luqiao. I really haven't decided yet. Which base I want to take. I think that we have a better chance of taking Luqiao because despite the quantity of troops that he has here, this is clear terrain, and I've been able to keep the damage on the base pretty high. So I think what I'm going to do is have these 2 units hold fast here, have these guys come up this way, get into Lanchow, do 1 attack to soften them up, and then have these guys shock attack across the river on another day and hit them again from 2 different directions, and hopefully that'll be enough to dislodge those guys. And then from there, we cut this rail line here, and we can start walking up this way and open up another direction of attack into Chongqing, and put more stress on Hellsen to have to defend this road over here, if that makes sense to you. Let me show you what I mean. So if we take this base here and we start sending troops up this way, he won't be able to rail any reinforcements in from Changsha. They're going to have to stop at Kuai Lin, and they can't go any further, right? we start marching up this way, possibly take this base and try to get into Yang, and we open up another front as we move towards Chungking. And what that's going to do is it's going to force Hellsen to take reinforcements from this area here and move them down, right? Because now we're going to march up this way. Or he'll take troops out of Changsha and try to reinforce. Either way, it weakens him all through here and allows us to maybe continue our push on the north, right? Because right now we're kind of stuck. I've got lots of troops here, but we don't have enough to get into and take this hex and then continue our attack down the Chungking this way. That was my initial plan. I'm still working on getting more troops up in there, but even still, no matter how many I get, he's got 200,000 troops, probably about 3,000 to 4,000 AV sitting in that hex, and we cannot take that out. No matter what, it doesn't matter how big of a death stack I bring up there, we will never get those troops off that hex with that kind of situation going on. So I need to find another way to loosen him up, and I think by taking Luchao possibly and start feinting this way, we can definitely get him to loosen up in other places so we have other places to attack. I hope that all makes sense. So hopefully within the next week, let me see, how far do we have to go? I'd say week to 10 days, we will be in a position to potentially attack Luchao. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So I want to show you this. I have a task force moving into Samal right now, and the reason is, if we look at our our ground reinforcement schedule, we have in 2 days a 5th Amphibious Brigade coming in at Samal, and it's a pretty sizable unit here. Okay. These troops I intend. Oh, let me delete that. The troops from Samal, I intend to take, and I'll transport them from here and probably move them up into Pakoi. Take Pakoi. After that, I'll take these guys here who are moving into Kwangchawang and then move them up to Garrison Pakoi. And then take those guys and move them up to here to add more weight to the shock attack at Nanning. So I think that's the plan there. So we're gonna need some time for that still, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. All right, let's quickly take a look at the Philippines because I like to kind of get that done at the same time. So Bataan. These guys are doing Puchang. All right. Okay, so here's what we're doing on the Philippines right now. We'll go ahead and talk about that. We are holed up here in Manila, and I'm currently working on increasing the size of the airfield, and I'm also going to start building more fortifications here because I want to make sure that I'm protected in case he elects to attack us out of Clark Field. We have plenty of ASW and naval support here, naval ships trying to blockade these ports here. I think I might need to expand that to cover Iba as well. I might need to retake Iba. I think what I'm going to do is... Oh, I don't know. Let's see if we can do this quickly. Well, I don't know. I don't like having another base that's open like that. It's another place for him to get supplies in and out of. So I got to figure out what to do about Iba. I really don't want him to own that place, but I don't know how to take it without him counterattacking it. So yeah, I'll figure something out with that. Or I just got to increase my naval... I think here's what we'll do, just to ensure that we're covering it. Let's see. Boundary 1 here. There we go. We'll just increase our patrol to make sure we get to that base as well. Okay. And then orders for this turn. Aircraft are still going to hit Baton and Baton. These guys are still flying naval search. These guys are going to hit Clark. And we're going to sweep Clark. So everybody's hitting Clark. Good. All right. So we're just going to keep bombing Clark and Baton every turn and try to wear down his supply there. That looking good. I wonder if these guys could cover Iba. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Anyway, okay. So, since we're talking about Philippines, let me tell you about this disaster that's Malaybalay. If you guys watched the last turn that I did, you know that this did not go particularly well. This division's beat up pretty bad. So, I have them broken out into 3 to help them heal faster. But what I'm going to do is just stop attacking here because I'm wasting my time. I need to let these guys starve themselves and not kill myself doing it. So I'm going to take some other units and shift them. Move this SNLF unit down to here. And then take this SNLF company and also move it down there and just use that to block these guys in. And then we'll just let them, we'll just sit there and wait a month or even 2 months until they just run out of supply on their own. There's no need to go any faster than that. I'm not attacking here anymore. Just wasting my troops. Load troops. Verify load. Accept. Let's see, what do we got on this thing? Alright, we'll take these guys and drop them off at Zamboanga. These guys are going in here. And then I can also move this unit, Makassar. Yeah, I'm running a little bit low on garrison troops here on Mindanao, but I'll figure that out. Okay. Let's take a look at Burma now. So right now, Burma's looking okay. We did have some B-17s attack this tank regiment and caused a reasonable amount of damage here. But whatever the case may be, we're gonna keep on moving because I want to take this unit out. So we're gonna keep. I'm gonna keep these guys in combat mode now and slow it down because I still move plenty fast in combat mode. But we'll take less damage to the B-17s if they come back. Then next turn we also attack and we'll take Tungu. And these guys are Chittagong. Alright, let's reassign some of these. Let's take a Cox's Bazaar. Did that get reconned? Let's take a look at Akiab as well. Infall, did that? Yep, okay. I just like to keep this recon going here so I know where everything is at. See, Mandalay is Shuebo, we'll take a look at that. We're just going to keep an eye on every one of these bases that we can. Okay, cool. And then in Rangoon, right now we're in the process of building up the, repairing the damage that we did to the base with our engineers. And then we're going to continue expanding the airfield because that airfield can be used to continue the attack on other bases in this area here. But yeah, basically everything's just moving right now. These guys got a long way to go. And these guys are going to attack here. Yeah, looking good in Burma. But yeah, I already mentioned in the previous video that Magway, being an oil center, I have to be very careful not to take this base too soon, because his B-17s from Calcutta will just come down here and bomb the crap out of it, and I'll lose all the oil here, and I can't afford to do that. But the problem is that it's kind of unpredictable how the game, you know how sometimes at the beginning of the turn you see that a base has been captured and it just flops over because we have proximity to it. Like our forces have a bigger weight of action than the enemy, so the base just kind of swaps in our favor. I'm afraid that if I continue up this road here and start taking bases like here and here and here, that Magway is going to just flop over because we're next to it and not in it. And the second that it flops over, we're in huge trouble, because then the B-17s come in the following turn and attack it before I have a chance to get enough aircraft here to cap the place. And that would be terrible. So, hey, Rylan, nice to see you. I don't know if I've ever seen you on one of my streams before, but I'm glad you're here. We're just talking strategy right now in Burma. So, getting back to what I was saying, I don't know if I want to continue pressing up this Burma road here with my forces. Right now, I think this might be our red line that we don't cross, because I don't want this base to flop over on me. So I have to make a decision. Like, how do I want to proceed with this? I don't know. I don't really know. I'll have to think about it. But for now, we can definitely get to Toungoo and be perfectly fine with that. Let's see what we got in Bangkok here. So these guys are just flying escort missions. Flying cap. These guys are doing recon. Keep an eye on Port Blair. These guys are training ASW. That's cool. Okay, these guys are doing search and training naval search, which is great. These guys are flying naval search. Okay. Put these guys. Let's put these guys actually flying. We'll have these guys actually flying cap. These guys. Nope, these guys need to be flying cap. So, escort, 80 cap, 10,000 feet. Nice. And these guys, I wonder if I can put these guys to use somehow. What do we got in Georgetown for? Yeah, I think we can do that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to move this Sally unit down to Georgetown. And then we're going to use these guys for ground attack on Sabang, because I want to try to keep the units that are in Sabang from moving. And let me explain what's happening here. I totally forgot to mention this on my last video this morning. We landed in Sabang this last turn with a task force loaded with troops and stuff. So this unit here is going to attack. These guys are going to attack. These guys will not attack. And at that point, we should have Sabang. And then what we're going to do after we take this base, and this is on the northern tip of Sumatra, right? What we're going to do is we're going to take this base and start working our way down the eastern side of Sumatra and take this base here, and in Medan, which is a oil producing base, has 200 oil centers. And I also have an aviation battalion which is going to follow all the way down, and as soon as we get into Medan, we can immediately fly in aircraft to cap it and keep him from taking the base, or bombing the base rather. So that's that plan there. I think what I need to do as well, I think what I need to do is take this Oscar unit. We're going to transfer it also to Georgetown. Looks like we lost a pilot doing that. That stinks. All right, whatever. We're going to do long range cap with drop tanks. And we're going to cap that task force to keep... let's see here. We'll drop it down to 5,000 feet. And then what that's going to do is prevent him from counterattacking this task force with aircraft. So I'm only going to operate those Oscars like this for one turn, because I don't want... Damn, it sucks about the pilot that we lost there. I hope it wasn't a good one. That should help prevent him attacking this. And I only need it to be for one turn, because after that, I'll have aviation support at this base, and I can fly in fighters to cap it myself. All right. All right, that guy's moving, that guy's moving. Okay, so last turn also, we had an issue with... Dornier 24 float planes out of Serbia flew up here and trashed my ships at Sinkwing, which were loading up troops, which is quite unfortunate. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to get this task force. We're no longer loading it, and we're going to full speed it the heck out of here back to Singapore and get get the heck out of Dodge, right? Because I don't want to take any more losses to do that. So this guy should be able to make it in... Let's see here. We should be able to make it without any issue. And we'll unload at Sinkwing. No, at Singapore. And then I have the other ships that are damaged, right? There's 4 total. All of them are going to unload. See how they all have fires? These fires are fueled by the supply on board. So what I need to do to have any hope of saving these ships and the troops aboard is to unload them as quickly as possible, and get that supply off. And then from there, they will retire to Singapore. Each one of these guys. And hopefully, we'll be able to make it out of there okay. Let's see, at Singapore, I've got a little bombing raid planned for Palembang. So what I'm going to do is use... Hey, Azope. Nice to see you. I'm going to send a little attack off to Palembang just to kind of see what he's got going on there. 2 Sally squadrons escorted by... Let's see, by what? I think they're going to be escorted by something. I hope, right? Okay, yep. These guys are going to... Okay, these guys are going to sweep Palembang, which may not even be necessary. I don't think he's got any aircraft there. We'll find out, though, right? Yeah, Azope. well, we were just talking about Burma and China and my plans for Sakhalin. You can always watch the stream back tomorrow if you want when you wake up, because it'll be done and recorded so you can catch whatever you missed. Yeah, but I was just talking about these damaged ships here at Sinkwing from those Dornier 24s, which came out of Surabaya. One thing that happened that was really good for me was that over here in Celebes, the last remaining Dutch unit on the entire island just died here at Kalaka, which was great. So now I don't have to worry about that, and that frees up this engineer regiment. So I got these guys loading up to head down to Kalaka to pick them up, and we're gonna move these guys on to the next location. But really, in the Dutch East Indies, there's not much going on here right now. I'm still kind of waiting for some more aviation support and other reinforcements to go before I move anywhere else down here. All right. Let's take a look at the Port Moresby area. Yes, hello, Guten Sonntag. It's a nice Sunday. Thank you, Mr. Jeff, for showing up. All right, so let's take a look at what we got going on in the Solomons area. So obviously we took Port Moresby, right? I've moved in some aircraft here to fly ASW patrol because I do know he's got subs in this area. Additionally, next turn I will be landing this task force here, which has a base force and another Air Force company. This will be a garrison force for Sabrina Argyros. Hello. I don't think I've ever seen you before. Nice to have you on the stream with us. Azo, so you're saying the Lodra campaign is going to a crazy path. So can you tell me a little bit more about that? I have not been following it because with much respect to Lodric, who is my first opponent and a friend of mine, I don't think he's well matched with his opponent. I think he's too good for the guy that he's playing, and it just doesn't seem fair to me to watch it. So I just haven't been paying attention to it. But if you want to tell me in the chat briefly what's been going on in there, I'd love to hear it, because I'm definitely not watching it. Anyway, while you do that, I'm going to talk about operations down here. So we know that he's only got one additional unit on New Britain, and it's moving into Rabaul. The previous one that went in here straight up died when it did it, so I'm not too worried about this guy at all. I think at this point what I'm going to do is use my bombers here, and we're going to ground attack these guys out here in the swamp. So let's set all level bombers to go in. All right, so we're going to send these guys to start bombing these troops, because they are heading back into Port Moresby, but I don't think they're that strong. There's like no actual assault value in these guys whatsoever. So we'll start dealing with that. And then next, I have all of my available forces moving into WoW. And this is literally the last base left on New Guinea that we don't control. So I've got units moving in from here and units moving in from here. And I'm going to take these guys out. And then I own every single piece of New Guinea from the top to the bottom. Every dot base, every base. And once I kill these troops here in the swamp, there will be absolutely no allied troops left in all of the Solomons area, right? Because these guys are almost dead. These guys are going to be dead when I get in there. These guys will be dead. This is jungle rough terrain here. All these are jungle rough hexes here, right? But we had a very easy time taking out the units at Salamaua. So I think we're going to have a very easy time of taking out these guys in WoW too. And then we'll be done with it. I think that's cool. All right, Azope, I just read what you said. So basically, the allied guy is doing big offensives, and they're not going well because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just not... he's just too inexperienced to play a good player, I think. That's why I'm not watching that campaign. Just can't do it. It's just watching like people get beat up. I don't like it. Okay, anyway, yeah, so we're just moving on WoW, and then that'll be it. And these guys, let's see. What do I have down here? 47th Regiment. Man, I still have a lot of troops in reserve here. I didn't realize I had so many troops available. Huh. Philip, nice to see you. Have you already looked at the U-boat chaser near Singapore? The U-boat chaser near Singapore. Can you be more specific? I have quite a bit. So if you can see this on your screen, all of these green hexes here are patrol zones. So I have U-boat chasers, or we call them sub chasers in English. I understand what you meant. I've got tons of them operating up and down here. This is where we had that interaction with that sub. This is the S-36. All right. We previously saw the S-36 operating off of Cam Bay near the beginning of the campaign. And it has since... oh, that doesn't work. Let me show you. The S-36 has had quite a journey on this campaign. It started off over here near Cam Bay and sank several ships. Then it went over here, sank a ship. Then it went all the way around Singapore. We attacked it here previously. And then it continued all the way up to here. So that single allied sub has had quite a journey since the beginning of the campaign. And my guess is that it's currently heading up to... So this is where his sub's at now. My guess is that it is heading up to Rangoon area to try to interdict ships trying to get into Rangoon. But that's no problem because I've already got a lot of task forces past him. Okay. We've gotten a lot of troops into Rangoon already. That's no problem. And I have these sub chasers here, which will continue to keep this guy pinned down. And I think one way we can guarantee that is to do this. Watch this. To make sure these guys are on extra hunter-killer mode, I'm going to set a patrol zone in Rangoon. Okay? So that kind of primes these guys to be on like ASW hunting mode. And hopefully they'll keep pinging this guy as we continue up on our way to Rangoon. But we've already got a lot of ships past it. Past these subs. I don't... Yeah, okay, so let me answer your questions, Azo. So your first question was, do I have any plans for Port Blair? Yes, absolutely. At some point, I do want to take it, but it's not really a priority right now. Okay? I don't really need it yet because we're still operating down here, primarily, okay? We're operating in the Dutch East Indies, and I am not really going past... Let me show you what I mean. This is my red line right now in Burma. And Port Blair, all it is like, he's got nothing here. He's got a single unit here. And if I was gonna, let's say theoretically, if I was gonna invade India at some point or invade Ceylon, you definitely want to take Port Blair because he could use this as a place to operate his seaplanes and spot you coming, okay? But I don't have any intention of going this way or that way right now. So Port Blair, it doesn't really do anything. He can have it if he wants. Yeah, and you're right. I could use paratrooper units, but I just don't really see the need at this time. I don't need it right now. It's not critical to my operations, right? We're still consolidating. If you look at it, we're still consolidating our gains in Malaya. I'm starting to poke into Sumatra. We're working on Borneo. We're cleaning up in the Dutch East Indies over here. So I'm not prepared to even discuss going into India. I don't even know if that's something I even want to do in this campaign, right? There's no... My strategy is still fluid. I have plenty of time to decide which direction to go in. And none of those decisions at this time require me to capture Port Blair. So I'm just not going to... I'm not going to deal with it because I don't need it at this time. Do I have any AA to deter his B-17s? The answer to that is no, I do not. I'm still in the process of trying to get stuff up there. I don't have everything I need. I've got stuff loaded on these ships here, but I don't have AA right now. It's just a risk that we're having to operate with. Okay, Jeff, let me read your statement here. He seems quick to attack when reinforcing recently captured bases. Um, right, and I mentioned that before, Jeff, before you got here. Um, I'll briefly go over what I discussed earlier because it speaks to the point that you've made here very well. He will counterattack bases that you capture very quickly. And you can bet that as long as he has the capability to do so, he will attack the oil at Magway, Medan, Miri, Balikpapan, and Palembang, right? So my whole strategy right now is to not take those bases until I can neutralize any base that he could operate B-17s from around them, all right? That would imply that I need to take Java first and neutralize Tarakan and all those other places before I go after these oil-rich places because I don't want there to be any B-17 attacks on the oil. I think I have tracker still up. So I already showed everybody this, but I'll show you again real quick. Right now, we're running a deficit of 9,000 oil a day, but we currently have 4.5 million oil. Okay, so that means we have 500 days of oil right now at our current usage. I don't need any of the oil bases right now. I don't need Magway. I don't need Miri. I don't need Balikpapan. I don't need Palembang. I don't need them right now because I have 500 days of oil to sustain myself before I would start to before I run out. Now, granted, I don't want to wait until 500 days to decide I want to start moving oil. I'm going to need to do it a lot sooner than that. However, this is the deficit that we're currently running, 9,000. I have a lot of time to neutralize all the surrounding bases, right? Let me show you what I mean. I have a lot of time to neutralize all the bases that he could attack me from with B-17. So let me show you what those are, right? Bandung, Batavia, Surabaya, Tarakan, Palembang, and nothing else in the Philippines. These two bases up here we've destroyed. They're no good. This base is no good. So all these bases here are bases that he could use his B-17s out of. Now it would be very inefficient, and it would be kind of a suicide mission to use his B-17s in this way. But you get more B-17s, but I don't get more oil centers, and I don't have the supply to build up 300, 400 points of damage at each one of these bases. Okay. So I'm gonna take my time here, and I'm gonna take nice deliberate attacks and neutralize every base that he could counterattack me from with oil. I'd counterattack my oil from. All right. Okay. So that's what we're doing here. All right. Let me see what we do. So that's the thing we discussed, Azope. I already discussed it, but I'll go over it one more time. Magway is an example of a base that could flop on me, right? This has 300 oil in it, right? So what I'm probably going to do is stop my advance into Burma kind of here. This is my red line. And we're not going to push forward because I cannot afford to have... I can't afford to have... this base flop over on me by proximity because I don't have anything to defend it right now. Okay. So much. Philip, thank you for your comment. I like doing these live streams too. I have no idea where the enemy carriers are at. I don't have a single clue. But you know what? I don't really care. I'm not worried about it right now. With the way that Hellsen is playing, he's playing so passively that I just don't think that he is... It's not really an issue. And also, I want you to... Hey, Bradley. Also, remember, I have naval search at Noumea, at Lafoa, and Denny, Tampatuea, Maloelap, and Wake. Okay? That is a huge bubble of naval search that he would have to get through before he can get to my carriers. And hey, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. But first, I'm going to get some water. Give me about 20 seconds, and I'll tell you a little secret that I got. Shh. Okay, so I'm back. I want to show you a little secret I got, guys. In addition to this massive ring of naval search that I've got protecting my carriers operating here currently, I got a couple little sneaky things going on. Look at this. I have a AMC down here with float planes on it. And this is guarding an attempt by him to potentially come through this way and come around the bottom side of New Zealand. And I also have another one moving into position over here, right? With naval search. Okay. And we're going to guard over here to make sure he can't come around this way. In fact, I'm probably going to take this unit and move it over here. And I have little picket ships down here covering the tail end of Kido Butai just in case he wants to kind of swing around New Zealand area, come around this way and attack. Now, he could theoretically come this way, but I'm going to see it coming as soon as he gets into this area here. So I'm just not too worried about... Oh, there you go. See, Hellsen's sending ads right now. These crazy guys. I've got some back cover here just to make sure he's not trying to sneak around on me, okay? And in addition to that, since we're talking about carriers and why I'm not worried about it, I'm basically done down here in this part of Australia, okay? We hit Melbourne. We hit Sale. We've hit Port Kembla, Newcastle, and Sydney. And I think I've extracted everything I need to extract down here. So my carriers are going to start moving back this way. And the further we go up this way, the safer we're going to be behind our bubble of naval search. I have so much naval search on New Caledonia now that there's just no way that he's going to get... He'd have to full speed for 2 full days straight. Whoa, look at that. Let me take that out. He'd have to full speed for 2 full days from this area, right, to get to my carriers. It's just not feasible, and he knows this. We've had very few losses from Kido Butai so far. We've lost less than 10, let's call it 12 aircraft and pilots from the entire Kido Butai to date. So losses on KB are extremely low. We're not even dipping into we haven't even exceeded our reserve aircraft yet. I have each squadron I packed with extra reserve aircraft before we left. So we still have full complements of squadrons. We still have excess pilots in every squadron on Kido Butai. So this strat bombing thing has been one of the best things I could have done for my campaign. And again, at the beginning of the video, I pointed this out, but let me point it out again quickly. Right now, our score is 12,278, right? We have 2,700 points from strat bombing, all right? Let me show you this real quick. Watch this. Where is my tracker? Let's go look at victory points. Let's see what we would... So right now, we're at 2.008 to 1. All right. Let's do some math here. Bust out my calculator. Watch this. This is where we would be right now if we didn't have done the strat bombing. We'd be at 9,500 points, and that's divided by the 6,115 that he's got. We would be at 1.56 win ratio if I hadn't done the strat bombing campaign. So even if I've lost 10 to 12 aircraft out of Kido Butai, it has gained me 2,700 points and propelled our win ratio up to 2 to 1 by the 10th of January. I don't know about you guys. I think that's pretty dang good. So it's been more than worth the pilot losses and the Kido Butai being down here. There's no way I can think of a way for Kido Butai to generate 2,700 points doing anything right now. Even if we sank the entire Allied carrier fleet, it would not equal 2,700 points. So to me, using the Kido Butai on a strategic bombing campaign in Australia has been an amazing thing, and it has really put us ahead, and it has also helped us offset these awful losses that I've incurred because of my stupidity, right? These aircraft losses, that's 400 points of loss, right? All these ships that I've had sunk, I've lost 290, I've lost 700 points, right? To aircraft and ship losses, when the average really decent Japanese player maybe loses 300, maybe 400. I've lost a lot. All right, but the strat bombing has erased all those losses. All right, let me catch up to you. Let's see, pilot losses. Okay, a few days ago, your suppliers were spotted with submarine attack. Oilers. Oh, yeah, that's not an issue. I have an oiler right here that's heading home. It's not detected. I have another oiler sitting out here just waiting, not detected. I have another oiler sitting over here, not detected. And then these guys are going to head over here. Check this out. We're going to move out to the middle of the Coral Sea and wait. Remain on station. Okay? And I've got oilers lined up here and here to continue keeping Kido Butai nice and fueled up. All right, so we have no fuel issues with Kido Butai. It's only had to go into port one time to rearm. And let me answer another question here. Let's see. Truck or Rabaul is the nearest base to resupply KB. The answer to that is no. We can supply it anywhere, and let me show you why. As long as I own a dot base, I have a little something. Let's see, where's it at? Check this out. In 3 turns, I'm going to have 3 AKEs pulling into Rabaul. From there, I'm going to load these guys up and deploy them down to probably Tagula Island or anywhere else to have another way to supply Kido Butai. And on top of that, I'm going to tell you guys another secret. You got to promise me not to tell Hellsen, okay? Shh. Are you ready? Guys, I'm being very forthcoming with information today. Normally, I like to be a little more secretive. I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little secret. Check out Numea, right? Remember I own Numea? Check this out. Are you ready? Rearm level 655. All right. Guess what? I'm going to show you something. So the rearm level of Numea is 655. Let's do some reading here. Here's the manual. I'm going to show you let's research ship rearming. Where's it at in the manual? I got to find it. Hold on, guys. Let's see, where is it at? There's a chart here that shows you what you need to rearm stuff, okay? Let's see, sorties. I think it's on the next page. Yes, look at this. You only need, here it is, guys. I finally found it. Sorry, it took so long. To rearm sorties on a carrier, you only need an AE or AKE or 500 rearm level to refill all the sorties on a carrier. Now, I'm not talking about torpedo sorties. I'm talking about regular sorties, which are bombs, which are what we're using, right? Okay, 500. Now, watch this. What do I do with my game? Numea has a rearm level of 655. So, I actually have Numea as a place to rearm my carriers. And if you look at where we're at right now, let's just say here to here, 24 hexes. We can cover that distance in 3 days. So in 3 days, I can move the Kido Butai to Numea and completely rearm it, 100% top off sorties, and get back. Right? So, and there's plenty of supply here, so that's not an issue. So there you go. Numea is another base that I can rearm my carriers. Not torpedoes, but sorties. And right now, I will tell you that the Kido Butai has 100% of its torpedo armament aboard. So we have full torpedo complement. And if I need to rearm, I can either go to Numea, or I can head up to Tagula, Rossel, any of these dot bases where I have an AKE just sitting there ready to go. And we can top off our carriers without even needing to go into Rabaul or Truck. And on top of that, I've got AOs stationed all through the Coral Sea and the Tasman Sea to keep Kido Butai fueled up. So Kido Butai has basically infinite range right now. We have zero need to go into Rabaul, need to go into Truck. We don't need to go anywhere. We have everything we need right now. I think that's pretty cool. So that's another reason why I've been so willing to hang out down here for so long. I have no endurance issues, right? We have plenty of pilots, plenty of planes. We've got fuel on tap. In fact, I just refueled Kido Butai this last turn. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. I was real sneaky about it. But my AOs actually met up with the carriers and refueled them in the middle of the turn. So there you go. That's that. Wow, that's a mouthful. You know what I need to do before I forget? I need to save this game. I don't want to forget to do that. All right, we'll take a quick gander out here real quick. Oh, what's that? PT boat. Oh, look at that. There's a PT boat in Suva. I'm just taking a quick look around the map to see if we can see anything. No. All right. One other thing I will show you real quick is that I've decided that I'm wasting my time putting subs around Hawaii. They're just getting spotted every turn and we're not finding anything. So what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling back all of my subs that I currently have out at sea. I'm going to refuel them at Kwajalein, and then I'm going to distribute them, and I'm going to use my subs more as like a shield. And wherever I have an offensive operation going, I'm going to use my subs in a tight packed area to kind of act as like a guard force, that like a minefield at sea that his ships would have to trip over to get to mine. So and then I'm also going to blockade closer to ports that I know he needs to get into. So I'm going to take these subs and redistribute them more around Fiji, definitely around New Zealand, because I think that's where he's going to start coming into. Also along the coast of Australia, just to try to deny some of his supply ingress into Australia, because actually with all the strap bombing that we've done to Australia, we've actually caused a significant amount of damage to his supply generating capability, such that I don't know if it's completely eradicated, but we've really reduced the amount of supply he can generate here. And it's going to make him have to move supply into Australia even more than he would have had to before. All right. Can you estimate when convoys are going to be needed? Well, I did play Allies, and I would say Australia has enough supply to operate on its own for probably about 3 to 4 months without any issues. One thing that they will run out of is fuel. There's a finite amount of fuel on Australia because there's refineries here, but there's no oil. Okay, so you would have to import the oil, which I'm sure he did get some oil out of Java Sea into Perth, but I don't think it was that much. And now that we've damaged so much of his industry in Australia, it's really going to put a little bit more of a strain on the economy here. So I would estimate within by the end of January, we should start seeing Allied convoys trying to get into Australia. And I really think that the path he's going to take is this. I think he's going to go really wide. Okay, let me show you. This is what I think he's going to do. I think he's going to hug the bottom of the map. Oops, where's my pen? He's going to hug the bottom of the map, right? Because he's very cautious. And he's going to go into Wellington or into Dunedin. And he's going to try to relay supply via New Zealand into Australia. And my guess is that he's going to actually probably go all the way around and come into Melbourne like this, because he does not want to risk a lot of ships getting caught. So he's going to go way south and cut them around this way. Okay, that's one method. The other direction I think he's going to supply is via Cape Town and Perth. So the easiest way to do that would be to use the penalty box from Cape Town and come out and come straight across to Perth, right? But the thing with that is that he knows that this is a highly predictable route, right? The game basically tracks it for you right to there. So he's probably going to have the convoys come in, assuming he's just going to use Perth at all. He's going to have them come in way down here and hug the bottom of the map and come into Perth this way, or continue all the way across, right, into Melbourne like this. I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to play it really cautious. I really do think he will. So we'll see. So as soon as I have a little more real estate captured in the on Java or something in the future, I'm going to start deploying a lot of subs all down through here to try to blockade him coming into Perth. And then Azope, you had a good suggestion for Raoul Island, which is right here. And I definitely would love to take all of these bases here, right? And then from here, I can use Raoul Island to use my Mavis float planes to detect, well, detect stuff coming in down this way. Let's see if they have the range for that. So a Mavis can fly at range 20. So from here to here, 25. So he could theoretically still skirt the very bottom of the map. But I think he's going to do that anyway, because he's cautious. But we'll have to see. He's still got a little bit of time before he actually has to get supply into Australia. But we definitely made it harder for him. And you can guarantee he's pushed all of his shipping way far away. Like, we know for a fact he's got nothing in Melbourne. So it's his ships are either somewhere tucked on this backside of Australia, which I'm not willing to go into, or they are in New Zealand, or he shipped them all the way out of here. But they're not here. He's got no real shipping on any of this part of Australia, because we've hit Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. We've seen all these bases, and we would know, because look at, we can even see that he's got ships here at Port Kembla. Just because we bombed this place, we know that he's got stuff there. All right. Whew. All right, guys. I'm just about done with this turn. I'm about to ship it off. So I want to give you one more opportunity to ask questions or make comments. Maybe a couple more minutes for you guys. If there's anything else you want to see, let me know and I'll show it to you. Azope, we could do that, but I'm not really a huge fan of those heavy cruiser raids. That's not really my cup of tea. That's more of a Lodric thing. I don't really like that. I think they're really risky, because all it takes is for you to run into one carrier task force down there on one of your raids, and then the show's over. I don't know if I want to risk my heavy cruisers in that kind of way. All right, Bradley, you asked about Rangoon. It's coming along. So here's what we got. So we're currently taking down about 30 points of damage a day from here. The airfield should be operational within one turn. The runway damage will be fine. Then we need to get the service damage down, and the port damage I'm not as worried about. Okay. But yeah, we should be able to operate aircraft at Rangoon within one turn. The problem is that I currently have no aviation support here. So I will say that was definitely one of the holes in my game. I did not accurately plan to get aviation aviation support in Rangoon in a timely manner. So I'm trying to fix that now. Okay. Let's see here. The next guard division. Let's take a look at ground reinforcements. So we currently have one guard regiment here, one guard regiment here. And if we look at ground reinforcements, in 2 days we get an engineer regiment, a amphibious brigade. Okay. And then see here, we have another guards regiment coming in 5 days. We have actually a lot of, in 5 days, we're going to have a lot of troops coming in. And then it looks like the next guard division comes in 36 days at Cam Bay. Okay, let me ask you, next, Philip, you asked where my whaler class tankers are. Let me show you at least where one of them's at, and I don't mind showing you this. Okay, you ready? Check, look at this. Here's one of my whalers right now. Where's it at? Tonin Maru #2. This is one of the ships that was damaged when he bombed Takao and Pescadores. This ship was damaged in a B-17 bomb raid a while ago, but I was able to safely get it back into Nagasaki, and it's being repaired right now. So we'll have this guy up and running soon. So this is the one that was at the most danger of being destroyed, and it's safe now. And I don't have any concern about it at this point. Okay, yeah. So Jeff, I'm not just going to use my sub strictly for capital ship hunting. I'm going to use it for aerial denial in general. So we're going to deny ports by stacking up nice big waves of these things. But I'm also going to use them in areas where I plan to operate heavily with my surface ships, right? So let's say theoretically I wanted to invade. I'm just going to say I want to invade Perth, right? I would put like tons of subs all around here with overlapping patrol zones to act as a shield, so that A, I can intercept ships coming in to attack me, and B, damage or sink ships that were damaged from me and trying to retreat. They'd have to drive over my subs, and a damaged ship is much easier to torpedo than one that's not. Let's see. You know about the guard brigade that could reform in the 1st Guard Division. Yeah, I know about that. I do know about that. Okay. Anything else, guys? What else you want to see? Actually, Azo, for fun, check this out. I actually have one of the guards mixed brigades is currently at Manila. Actually, Bradley, I'm not drinking today because last night I went to my 20-year high school reunion. Me and my girlfriend went back to my hometown, and I did my 20-year reunion, and I drank a ton. And I'm kind of hungover today, so I don't feel like drinking anymore. I think I'm just drinking water. TIE division. Oh, my TIE divisions are all over the place. So I have them garrisoning all these bases that have a garrison requirement right now. I have quite a bit of TIE divisions in Rangoon. And I'm basically using their engineers and garrison. And I also have a TIE division over here, which I can pack up now that we no longer have a need for it. So I have my TIE divisions fully committed. Yeah, I graduated in 2003, Bradley. So 03. Anything else, guys? What else you got for me? What else you want to see? I don't. TIE units, good garrison. I already showed you the guard division that's coming in. I know. I think I got everything. I think I got all that. Light carriers. Okay, facehugger. What would you like to know about my light carriers? I currently have them at Singapore. Okay, so I have an idea. So here's the problem. I covered this earlier in the stream, but I will show you what I got. Yes, Azo, they are going to train and they will be reinforced because the Thai divisions can be very strong once they get built up. I'm definitely going to. I'm mostly already in Burma as it is. So, 3 of the 4 Thai divisions that I have are in Burma already, and I'm using them. So here's my issue with the guys in Pucheng. Right, there's 400 AV here, quite a bit of troops. This unit could break into here, probably within 2 turns. So the plan for this guy, and this is really all I can do right now because I can't get units here fast enough. What I'm going to do is bomb this unit because what I do know is this unit was heavily damaged in attacks through here previously. So if I'm right, this unit has almost nothing left in it. So I'm going to bomb it heavily and hope that I can destroy it completely outright. That's what I hope I can do. I have no idea if that's going to work or not, but that's what I'm attempting. So I'm going to bomb this unit next turn and see if we can kill it. Other than that, if I don't kill it, it's going to break this hex side and jailbreak these troops, and it's all over. Then I don't know what to do. Then they're just going to be running amok down here, and I'm just going to have to deal with it later on. That's really all I can do, is bomb this unit for 2 turns and hope that it's enough to kill it. I'm going to use every available bomber that I've got to do that. And if any unit that's got high morale, we're going to go in at 3,000 feet. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I don't have paratroopers available for this. And I don't have paratroopers available for that operation. So they're committed elsewhere, Azo. So that would have been a good idea, but I don't have them. So I'm kind of in trouble. My light carriers are currently in Singapore. Mini KB is in Singapore. And it will be joined by the Shoho in, let's see here, 3 days. I don't, Azop, I do not have any units that I can get in here in a reasonable amount of time. I cannot get anything into this hex. I just can't do it. So we're in trouble. The best I could hope for would be to block them in. But I don't think I could even stop them if I could. So I don't think I can get anything there in time to stop these guys. I have nothing. Maybe I could find a way to get this 15th division, but it's going to take them a week and a half to get here. So really, it's just too late. It's too late for me to do anything about this. Upgrading the aircraft and crew in the light carriers to make them more effective. Jeff, I've already done that. I have nothing but good aircraft on the mini KB. I have plenty of they're all zeros. There's no A5Ms on there. There's nothing. It's all good aircraft on MKB. I didn't send it out until I knew that I had the very best aircraft to put on there. So Mini KB is fully capable of full offensive and defensive operations right now, as it is. Okay, Azop, give me your idea. How do I stop this issue here quickly? Not enough. This is what I have. Oh, that's not it. I only have this amount. Only 1 unit with AV in it, so I can't really move them out and back in time. because this is the only unit that I've got here to hold them down. So that's not going to work. Send a unit from the encirclement to this hex. Okay. All right. You know what? Let's try it. We'll send these guys here. Okay. So we'll try it out. I'll send this 4th Mortar Battalion over to here. They'll get there in 2 days. And then you want me to go right back in and close the hex behind them. And what we'll do then is bomb these troops to keep them from being able to move out in time. We'll close the hex before they can get out. Is that what you're thinking? I think that's what you mean. Let's try it out. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll try it. 4th Mortar Battalion will go here. In 2 days, they'll have it. And in 2 days, they close it. And we will bomb this unit to slow them down and bomb these units to slow them from moving out. To keep them from, you know. We'll try it. Oh, Azope, there's nothing to lose there. I know what you're saying. We're going to try that. That's a good idea. I like it because I got no other options to stop them. So we'll give that a shot. All right. So you were asking about carriers and upgrades. Let's take a look at that. So we'll look at the Kaga. Its first upgrade's on July of 1942. It's quite a ways away. And it will get a minor AA boost. The Hiryu is also on July. Minor AA boost. Soryu, also in July. AA boost. Shokaku in June of 1942. AA boost. Oh, and radar. I'm sorry. These guys get radar too. And then Akagi gets no radar, but it gets AA boost. So it looks like the Shokaku and the Zuikaku get radar. The Hiryu and the Soryu do not. And the Kaga does not get radar. So we get radar on 2 of our carriers in June. If you move quicker, the unit in the... Wow. That's a good point too. I'm still gonna do this. I'm gonna but we'll keep these guys on combat mode just to slow them down. Because for this to work, that unit does need to get in here, and we need to exchange positions. Right? You're saying to use this. Okay, I see what you're saying. This does have more weight to it. This will keep here. We'll move these guys in combat mode up here. And hopefully these guys will exchange positions at some point. Alright, I think I got it, Azope. We'll try that out. We'll see how it works. We'll see how it works. It's a good idea. Alright, guys. What else you got? What else you got for me before I end this turn? I do need to get more troops here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days to get there. Okay. This guy, I'm going to move an armored car regiment this way as well. Yep, I know what you mean. But I need him to... You know what? Let's get these guys. Let's about face these guys and get them in here too. I just realized I had another available unit here. This 39th Division C can turn around and get back in here quickly to try to block these roads. Yeah. Okay. I do have some more forces here. Okay. I think we got a good plan here now. Let's save my backup here. 10 Jan 42. Turn 35. Backup. Hey, so good idea. I like what you're. I understand what you're saying. So I'm gonna try that out, and if we can keep him bottled up here, that will work out great. Because now that means we have even more. We have even more stuff bottled in here, which would be great. Okay, what else you guys got? Anything else? I'm about ready to end this thing. So let me know if there's anything else you guys want to see. To Yoon. That's looking really weak. Can you briefly name a pool of planes? Can you, Philip, can you be more specific when you say a pool of planes? You want to see what I have? Aircraft pools? These are the pool numbers over here. How many troops does he have on the clear terrain city of the Rail West? Are we talking about Nanning? Or are we talking about Luchao? So there's 13,000 at Nanning, 61,000 at Luchao. Kuai Lin has 25, and Tuyun has 2,600. The Sir Robin, I think I know. So here's my guess. I'm thinking that the Sir Robin is going to stop. Well, for one, I'm not even saying I'm going into India because I don't know that I am. Luchao. Okay. I think that he's building a line in the sand kind of like here. All right. I think he thinks we're going into India because I've seen him building up Bombay and Bhopal and Dimapur. I've seen him building bases way up here, Delhi. So I feel like this is kind of his line in the sand right here. And you know what? I think this is what he's trying to defend, but I don't even know if I think that's what he's doing. I think I want to go somewhere else because I don't want to run into that wall. Luchao. Okay, so Aesop was asking me about Luchao. Luchao has 61,000 troops, but I don't know how many of those are combat troops, and I don't know how many of those I don't know how many of those are like just support units. I have no idea what this is. At the beginning of the campaign, I made a plan. Yep. Is the loss plan any better than what you expected? Okay, Philip, I think I understand what you're saying. I did not plan to lose as many ships and aircraft as I have. I did plan to do strategic bombing of Australia, but I did not expect to have this many losses. I thought I would do better than that. Hellsen is very good at asymmetrical warfare, like these little stupid destroyer raids and these little B-17 raids and these little Dornier 24 raids, right? They're just little pinpricks, right? But they add up over time, and I wasn't expecting all those. Have I sent a unit to the road west of Aicheng? To the west of Aicheng would be out this way. I have not, because I don't really want to be sitting on this terrain. It's not very good. I don't really want to go down that way right now. I know what he's got in Chengte, and it's nothing that he could take. I have a significant amount of troops in Aicheng, so I'm not worried about him taking it. We got size 3 forts. I've got more troops heading up in there. We've got these guys pinned down, right? He's got 1,200 AV sitting right here, and they're stuck because of this division that I put here. So I'm not worried about these guys at all. Not one bit. Bombing of Australia. Well, I mean, Bradley, I don't really want to say too much, but I mean, kind of read the tea leaves, right? We've hit this place really hard and damaged his industry substantially. Okay. It's clear that I'm operating very heavily in this area here, right? I mean, you know, and Kidobutai is where, right? They're not. Kidobutai is here. It's not here. It's not here. So I guess you can kind of infer what you want, but I think you can see we have a substantial amount of forces in this area right now. I just don't see the need, Azope. I need all these units in here doing what they're doing. I don't want to send anything here right now. I think it would be at risk of getting shock attacked. And I just recon this base every few turns just to get an update on it. So I'm not going to move anything out of Aicheng right now because I have all these guys in here doing things that they need to do. Right? I need all these units here. Man, this unit is not replacing itself very quickly, is it? What else, guys? What else you got for me? Anything else? Because if not, I'm going to end this thing and get this turn sent off to Hellsen. There aren't enough VPs in Australia to win off. Well, I mean, are you sure about that? We're already at 2-1, right? Philip, can you be please don't say anything about plans, but a few days ago you made us curious about something. Is that still in the planning stage? Philip, can you be more specific with your question? Because I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. Any plan for China? Yeah, to beat it, to win it all. I already mentioned this earlier in the stream, but I am looking at, and I said I'm looking at, I didn't say I'm fully committed to it yet. But I do want to take Luchao right here. It's on clear terrain. That's something I have going for me. I have units here. I've got more units coming up from Samal in a few days to Pakoi. I have these guys that are going to take Nanning, hopefully, within the next week. I have these guys coming in this way. I want to take Luchao. And then I want to start marching up this road this way towards Chungking to put some heat on him. to get him to break some of these troops off over here. Because right now he's got so many troops up here. He's basically stopped my attack. So my initial plan here was to go up the Anking Road here, take this hex, and then push down and attack Chungking this way. But he got ahead of me because I made some mistakes with moving my troops around and stuff. So he's blocked us here, and we got a giant stalemate in this hex. So I cannot proceed any further way, and there's no other good option right now. So what I want to do is I have all these troops just sitting on the Anking Road, and so I need to open up another front. So my plan is to attack down. I need to open up a front in this area here to force him to move some troops down this way to defend it. And if I take this base, he can no longer rail anything past Kuai Lin. It's going to be stuck in Changsha. He does have quite a bit of troops in Changsha, but what Chinese person wouldn't? You got to hold Changsha. It's a linchpin to a corner of your place, right? So yeah, he has lots of troops in Changsha, but if I can get into the hex of Luqiao, they can't rail in there anymore. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. He does have a lot of troops here, but again, I don't know exactly what they are. So what I need to do is start bombing, I think, in the next couple turns. I need to bomb the ground forces here to see what exactly he's got here, because I don't honestly know right now. Attacking from the north is possible, but it would take forever. I would have to go all the way around this way, and it would take 2 weeks to do that. I don't think I want to do that, so I'm just going to shock attack across the river. I know he doesn't have big forts here, and it's only ×2 terrain, and he's only got 2 units here, maybe 2 core. And I'm going to have a total of 3 guard regiments plus 2 militia regiments to make that attack. I think that's enough to I think that's enough. I think it's enough to take Nanning anyway. And then we've got a sizable force forming up over here to hopefully take Luqiao this way. Yeah, he could retreat to Changsha, and he can go this way, right? And that's fine. But still, that means he's going to weaken this up, and then that means I could attack this way or this way. So he has to try to juggle all that and figure out what he wants to defend, because he doesn't have enough troops to defend everything. Oh, yes, Bradley, I had something planned. Yes, in about a week, I do have a plan, but I can't divulge it right now. Philip and Bradley, I do have a plan. I do have a big plan. But where is it? Where is it? Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Maybe up here. Could be over here. Oh, maybe it's Ceylon. I don't know. I do have a plan, guys. Keep watching. Just keep watching. And in about a week's time, 7 days of game day time, you're going to see a major operation. I just can't tell you what it is yet. It's a secret. Maybe a few extra days. Maybe 10 days, okay? Give me 10 days. Give me 10 days. I might need 10 days to get this all going, but it's going to be good. I promise you. But yeah, Bradley, there may not be enough VPs in Australia to take it outright to 4-1 him. But I do want you to remember We're already at 2-1 right now. And we haven't hardly taken anything, right? We haven't taken, I mean, we've taken Singapore and Rangoon, right? But we haven't taken any big bases here. We still have over 1,000 to 2,000 points of Allied troops, maybe even 3,000 points worth of Allied troops in the Philippines that are yet to die. Okay, so yeah, I mean, when Clark, oh look at that, Clark Field is a big point swing when we take that. So we're looking at about 2,000 points worth of troops, maybe even 3, between these 3 places, right? Okay. Don't forget, at some point, I don't know when, it could be months from now, but we still got to take all of this, too. We haven't even done that yet. All of Java and all the troops that are going to die there. That's probably another 1,000 victory points just in troop kills on Java and all of the Dutch East Indies. So we have plenty of points if we wanted to. If we take all the Dutch East Indies, which we eventually will, we have. Hopefully, I take China. That's the goal anyway. I would love to take China. That's a huge point swing if we eventually take Chongqing, right? So yeah, we could easily win by attacking Australia. To answer your question, the strat points, what we're targeting are just as industry. So we don't get the points. Those industry points don't contribute to the score for the base. They only give me industry capacity, and I don't really need Australian industry capacity for my campaign. Like, I have enough in China, in Java, in home islands to sustain me. I don't need any industry in Australia. So me blowing it all up means that if I were to come in and take it all, I would be inheriting a lot of damaged industry. But I don't need them anyway, so I'll blow them all up. I don't need a single thing in Australia. So it doesn't hurt the victory points later on. It hurts my industry capacity if I were to take a base that has a bunch of blown up industry, but who cares? I don't need it anyway, so it's not really a big deal. But the points that I get for attacking the industry has been crucial to my campaign. Look at this. I already showed you the math, right? We'd only be at 1.56 to 1 right now without the strat bombing. So we've gained a good 25% of my, yeah, almost 25% of my points for the whole campaign have come from strat bombing in Australia alone. That's huge, right? I think that's something there's something to be said about that. That's why I'm doing it. And that's why I've got so much invested in Kido Butai being down there. And I've taken a lot of criticism for it, but the math is indisputable. Nobody can find me a better use for Kido Butai right now. Hunting convoys, maybe I'll get some, maybe I won't. You never know where they're at. In hindsight, I wish I'd hit Pearl Harbor instead of Manila. But the positive side is I don't have to worry about any subs right now around Philippines because I killed them all in port. But I could have gotten even more points if I'd gone after Pearl Harbor. Maybe in the next campaign I'll target it instead. But the strat bombing in Australia, I cannot think of a better use for Kido Butai right now than that. Because, again, where do I need them? Where do I need Kido Butai right now? I don't need it in the Dutch East Indies. Look what I did. I did all this without any carrier support whatsoever. Nothing. I took Singapore and all of Malaya with 0 carrier support. I've cut the Burma road and gotten halfway into Burma with 0 carrier support. So I don't need my carriers anywhere to do what I want to do right now. I don't need carriers to attack Sumatra. I mean, carriers would be nice for Java, but I can use land-based air to do this. I don't need carriers in the Philippines. I'm not going to expand any further this way. So how do you know I don't already have those things on the island? Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think I definitely would like to reinforce New Caledonia soon. But here's the thing, Azope. I can guarantee you he's not going to attempt to invade New Caledonia as long as Kido Butai is within a day and a half sailing. Because I'm going to see it coming 2 days before he can land it. I can have Kido Butai back over to Noumea in 2 days, and I can completely stop it. So for the near term, there is no need for me to reinforce New Caledonia for the moment. If I leave the area with the carriers, I definitely will add more strength to Noumea because it is a little exposed. You're right, but it's not exposed enough that I need to worry about it at this moment. Yeah, but that's a good point. I do want to reinforce these eventually. Probably I can take all these units up here that are finishing off operations in the Solomons. I can take them once they're done with WoW and move them down to New Caledonia and reinforce these other islands over here. Well, I could try, but I don't have any to send. I don't have any available right now. They're all busy doing other things. I might be able to send. Let's see here. Here we go. I have a Naval Guard unit right here that I could send. All right, let's take these guys and have them meet. Merge, okay. And these guys. Let's see. What do you think his first major operation against me will be? I think maybe the Aleutians. I think he may try to retake Adak. I think that might be his first operation. Up here. Possibly some sort of attack into the Marshall Islands. That could be something. I think that's it. Cap is really important. Yes, it is. If you have enough to supply. All right, guys. Anything else? I'm about ready to wrap this up, but I want to give you guys one last chance to ask questions. I can show you whatever I can show you. I got Tracker open right now if you want to see anything there. If not, in the next 30 seconds, if I don't get another question, I'm going to go ahead and end this and tell you guys all. Thank you very much for participating today. I really enjoyed it. It was great comments, great questions. That's my favorite part of playing this game is interacting with other people and sharing my vision and my strategy and getting good suggestions. Azope, you had a great idea for Puchang in China. I'm going to try it out. It could very well work. So thank you for that idea. I didn't have a good plan until then, so I like your idea. We'll try it out and see what happens. The timing is going to be important because I want to make sure that I get into that hex right after he gets in so I can immediately close it. And what I can do is use my bombers to bomb and slow these guys. Well, I hope I can keep it a graveyard for him too, but we'll have to see. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this now. Thank you guys very much for your help, comments, suggestions. I hope I see you guys at my Discord server because that's where all the action is taking place. If you're not there, you're really missing out. And I've recently declassified Hellsen and Mine's room, so you no longer need special access to go in there. You can go in there yourself anytime you want and take a peek at what we're doing. As long as you guys keep your mouth shut and don't talk about what you're seeing in the opposite room, there's no restrictions at all. So come on over. It's wide open for everybody. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I got to get this turn sent off. Bye-bye.